Hi everyone, this is the solutions to the 2023 HSC Maths Advanced paper. In this first video we're going to look at the multiple choice questions. Question 1. The number of bees leaving a hive was observed and recorded over 14 days at different times of the day. And we have this graph. Which Pearson's correlation coefficient best describes the observation? So two things we have to figure out. Is it going to be positive or negative? And how close to 1 should it be? Now, we can see that this has a positive inclination, so we can wipe out A and B. Imagine a line going through here. How close would those points be to a perfect line? Now remember, a correlation coefficient of 1 is a perfect relationship, of 0 is no relationship. So we're closer to 1 than 0, so our answer is D. Question 2. The game involves throwing a die and spinning a spinner. The sum of the two numbers obtained is the score. The table of scores below is partially completed. What is the probability of getting a score of 7 or more? All right, so what we're going to do is just complete this table. And we're just filling it in basically. And then here we've got 6, 7, 8, here 8, 9, and 4 and 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do we want? 7 or more. So that's here and above. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of, we've got 6 here and 4 here, so out of 24. And reducing that down, we have 5 out of 12. Our answer is D. Question 3. What is the domain of f of x is equal to 1 divided by the square root of 1 minus x? Right, when we're looking for domain, we're looking for numbers that we can't input. And so we can't have a denominator of 0, and we can't have any negative numbers under the square root. But let's turn that around and write it in a positive fashion. We need 1 minus x to be greater than 0. In solving, negative x is greater than negative 1. And when I'm multiplying both sides of an inequality by a negative number, I have to flip the sign. So x is going to be less than 1. Our domain is A. Question 4. The graph of a polynomial is shown. Which row of the table is correct for this polynomial? So let's have a think about what we know. We know it's a cubic, so we're expecting the highest power to be 3, but that doesn't actually eliminate anything. We've got a double root here, so we're expecting an x minus something squared, and we've got a single root here, so we're expecting an x minus something or other else. So that's actually going to wipe out C and D. We just need to tell the difference between A and B. So we can see that they're saying the double root occurs at C, so we want C to be a positive number, and that's here, isn't it? So our answer is B. Question 5. The diagram shows the graph y equals f of x. F of x is an odd function. The shaded area is 1 square unit. The number a, where a is greater than 1, is chosen so that the integral between 0 and a is equal to 0. What is the value of the integral between negative a and 1 of f of x dx? All right. Now we know the area here is 1, but the integral between 0 and a is actually negative 1. And we're told that the integral between 0 and a is equal to 0, which means that these two areas must cancel out, because this is actually negative. And so that area there must be positive 1. Now we have symmetry, which means the integral between negative 1 and 0 is 1. And in between negative a and negative 1 must be negative 1. All right, to get this part here, the integral between negative a and 1, we're going to add this and this and this. Negative 1 plus 1, take away 1, is equal to negative 1. The answer is A. Question 6. The following table gives the signs of the first and second derivatives of a function y equals f of x for different values of x. Which of the following is a possible sketch of y equals f of x? All right, so we've got values at negative 2, 0, and 2. Now remember, your first derivative is telling you whether the function is increasing, stationary, or decreasing. So let's see if we can eliminate some of these. So at -2, this function is increasing. At 0, it is decreasing. It's not stationary, so it's not A. What about B? At -2, this is decreasing, so it's not B. What about C? At -2, it's increasing. At 0, it is stationary. And at 2, it is also increasing, so this is a possibility. And D, increasing at -2, stationary at 0, decreasing at 2, it is not D. So we didn't need to look at the second derivative. The answer is C. Question 7. It is given that y equals f of g of x, so it's a composite function, where f of 1 equals 3, f dashed of 1 equals -4, g of 5 is equal to 1, and g dashed of 5 is equal to 2. What is the value of the derivative at x is equal to 5? All right, this is a really cool question. I like this one. We've got a chain rule here. So we're going to do dy dx is equal to, we're going to differentiate the outside function, which is f dashed of g of x, and then times by the differentiation of the inside function. All right, we'll write it like this actually, y dashed of 5. So we've got f dashed of g of 5 times g dashed of 5. All right, we know that part there is 2, and we know g of 5 is 1. So we want f dashed of 1 times 2. F dashed of 1 is -4 times 2, which is -8. The answer is A. Question 8. What is the solution of the equation log base a of x cubed equals b, where a and b are positive constants? So we want to solve for x. So I'm just going to do some log laws here. We know that this 3 can come down. Dividing both sides by 3. I'm going to take it out of log form into index form. So a to the power of b over 3 is equal to x. All right, where is that? That's B. Question 9. Let f of x be any function with a domain of all real numbers. Which of the following is an even function regardless of the choice of f of x? Now we're going to go through each of these in turn, but we can already rule out A, because suppose f of x is odd, 2 times f of x is also going to be odd, so it's not A. But these are not immediately obvious. Now if you're stuck on a question like this, you can just make stuff up, like pick a function for f of x and test it. Pick an even function, an odd function, and a function that's neither. You will get the answer. But I'm going to show you how to do it formally. Now before we start, for it to be even, what we really want, I'm going to use g of x, is for g of negative x to equal g of x. All right, so let's start with b. So we're going to let g of x equal f of x. Now let's have a look at g of negative x. And so that's f of negative x. Now we don't know whether this is even or odd or neither. So we can't tell if this is going to always be even. So we're just going to park that one for the moment. Let's have a look at C. It's like g of x equal f of negative x all squared. And so what is g of negative x? Well, it is f of x all squared. And again, sometimes we might get an even function, but probably not all the time. So again, it's possibly not C. Let's have a look at D. In this case, we've got g of x is equal to f of x times f of negative x. And so g of negative x is equal to f of negative x multiplied by f of x. And that is g of x, isn't it? And there's our definition for an even function. And so our answer is D. Question 10. The graph y equals x squared meets the line y equals k, where k is greater than 0 at points P and Q as shown in the diagram. the length of the interval PQ is L. Let A be a positive number. The graph y equals x squared on a squared meets the line y equals k at points S and T. What is the length of ST? All right, now it tells us that A is positive. It doesn't tell us whether it's greater than 1 or not. But I'm going to make it greater than 1 just so I can see this on the diagram. So if it's greater than 1, we're going to have a wider parabola. And it says this graph meets the line y equals k at the points S and T. And we're wanting to find this length here. All right, so I'm going to start off by doing simultaneous equations. This is the curve y equals x squared on a squared. Simultaneous equations between y equals x squared on a squared and y equals k. So x squared divided by a squared is equal to k. X squared is equal to k, a squared. X is equal to plus or minus root k a. And so that's the x coordinates here. Negative root k a. And here is root k a. Now let's do the same thing with y equals x squared and y equals k. So we will get x squared is equal to k, x is equal to plus or minus root k. And so those x coordinates there, negative root k, and here is positive root k. And we know the distance between those two is L. So if the distance between root k, negative root k, and positive root k is L, what is the distance between negative, I'm going to do a root k, and positive a root k? Can you see that it would be AL? And the answer is C. Okay, that's it for this video. In our next video, we'll look at questions 11 through to 22.